You're standing in front of the squat rack and you've been training for a while and you know what you're doing, but then a guy pulls up beside you in the rack next to you. So naturally, you size him up, right? We roughly the same build, roughly the same age. And then you take a look at his bar, right? And he's got more weight than you do. So what do? Now, you add plates, right? But not because your program set to, not because your body is ready, because your ego, because you didn't want to be the guy with the lighter bar. I get it. I've been there. I've done exactly that. I do it still sometimes. And my wrist started popping, right? My spine felt every rep. And at the end of it, I had not much muscle to show for it. And here's what I want to tell you. If you're over 30, the reason you aren't building muscle isn't because of your age. It's not your testosterone. It's that you're training for somebody else's goal, right? For me, once I understood that, everything changed. So in this video, I want to talk about why that might be happening for you. And these three things you can change right now to actually start building muscle again. So here's the thing. After 30, yeah, our testosterone drops about 1% a year. It sucks, but it's true, right? It's just science. And yes, recovery takes longer and all the other things. These are real, right? But they're not the main reason you've stalled. The reason's actually simpler and it's also deeper. And you're probably pushing too hard, right? For the wrong reason. And that's your ego. And it's a comparison thing. Again, it's natural. We all do it, but keeping up with whoever's next to you in the rack next to you or in the machine next to you, like, or it could be that you just quietly backed off, right? And you're telling yourself in this, it's just this mental script in your head. It's your age or it's some other excuse. And it's one I don't want you to be telling yourself, right? But either way, they're going to lead you to the same place. And it's just that your body will look the same as it did last month or last year, right? And for years I went through this and I was telling myself, it's just how it's going to be. And even though I went through a period of deep powerlifting, right? I was chasing 1 rep max on squat and deadlifts specifically. I was adding weight every week, right? On the squat and the deadlift. And it was hitting good numbers, adding weight every week. I was hitting new numbers and it felt like progress. But here's what was actually happening. My wrists were actually starting to pop on heavy pulling days. And like every time I went on a heavy back squat, I could feel the compression in my spine. If you guys have squatted heavy, you know what that's like. And the pain was building up like rep after rep. I could just feel it. But I kept going because I told myself, I'm like, I guess this is just what progress feels like, right? But it wasn't. It was just my ego kicking in. And then one day I had to take a step back from the rack and the machine. I was like, you know what? Like, what am I doing here? I had to ask myself, I'm like, what and who am I actually training for? Like, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not competing on stage. I'm not shooting a magazine cover. Like, I'm not entering a powerlifting contest. So why was I training like that? I couldn't answer that. And that told me like everything I needed to know, because the reason I'm telling you this is because I see it all the time. Like I see guys grinding for a goal that they seem like they didn't actually choose, right? They're choosing someone else's goal and they're chasing it, right? The guy in the gym or the guy on Instagram that you're seeing, the shredded guy, right? Which is the big thing now. And whatever number some trainer told them they could hit, right? Whether that be body fat percentage or weight, right? And when the results don't come, right? You blame your age, you blame your hormones, you blame your sleep, your brain, your stress, right? All these things that you could blame. But the problem was never the biology. The problem is the goal, right? And here's what happened when I started training for my actual goal, right? I recently got my body comp back and my lean muscle mass, right? I'm getting more lean muscle, lower body fat percentage is coming down, right? And at this age, it's not because I'm training harder. It's because I'm training for the right thing. So here's three things to change, right? And fix number one is get clear on your actual goal, right? Not what Instagram or social media is telling you that you should look like, and not what the guy next to you is lifting, right? It's what do you actually want, right? Is it more muscle? Is it less fat? Do you want to just be overall stronger? Do you want to just be generally healthier, right? Pick one, only that one for you, right? And just train for that. Everything else is just noise. So fix number two is check if you're actually progressing. And this is a big one. And you need to be tracking, right? You can't just be showing up to the gym and just progressing, right? You can't be guessing. Are you adding weight? Are you not? Like, how many reps are we doing? Right? You need to be comparing from like the prior workout, last week's workout, the previous month's workout. So you need to be tracking. And quick tip, again, you can use a journal. Some people like to go old school, just pencil and paper on a little notebook, or you can use an app on your phone, right? So if you're not progressing, your body has zero reason to grow. So I want you to remember that muscle doesn't build out of habit. It builds because you gave it a reason to, right? And that's just progressive overload, which we all know. So fix number 3 is you need to audit your protein, right? Your protein intake. And it's not just per day, right? After 30, your muscles need more protein for feeding, right? And not more in total, more per meal, right? And so again, you got to remember what worked back when you were in your early 20s or your teens doesn't cut it, right? So we want you closer to probably 35 to 40 grams per meal, roughly, depending on like where you are. So here's what I want you to start. Look at your last 3 workouts, honestly, right? Again, ask yourself, were you training for your goal, or were you managing like someone else's standard or trying to keep up with somebody else, right? And the answer is where your results are hiding, right? So which of these 3 fixes do you need most right now? Let me know in the comments below, right? And if you're ready for the next step, I want you to watch this next video. So stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon.